At 16, Haley was shy and insecure. The most radiant moment of her life was when she wasn't afraid to die, recklessly throwing herself in to save William from a gang of thugs. At 16, William was a bright, fearless teenager, outstanding among his peers. The most unexpected event in his life was that he pulled Haley, who had been sinking deeper into a hopeless swamp, back out. The first to confess feelings was William. The first to say, "I like you," was William. And the one who refused to see Haley again for the next 15 years was also William. What twists will unfold in this captivating 15-year love story of waiting for a husband? If you love emotional, heartwarming stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Let's dive into a tale that will stir your heart and stay with you long after the last word. In the month of May in City B, due to a cold air mass, the temperature dropped lower than usual. The drizzling rain over the holiday weekend only added to the gloom. When Haley stepped off the bus, it was already 7 p.m. The sky was ink black, the northern wind howled, carrying light rain. The air was damp and chilling, the cold biting enough to make one shiver. Haley just kept walking along the road, not knowing how long she'd been walking when suddenly, the sound of a fight shattered the rain-filled silence. She slightly raised her umbrella, turning toward the noise. In the corner of an alley, 4 thugs were beating up a black-haired teenage boy. With each punch, he hunched over, taking the blows silently without uttering a sound. Haley's first instinct was to turn and run, but just as she lifted her foot, she froze. The boy took a kick to the stomach and lifted his head with a groan. A bolt of lightning ripped across the sky, illuminating his face, pale from pain. It seemed to be William. When she saw one of the thugs about to kick William in the head, Haley trembled, gripping her umbrella tightly. Swallowing her fear, she stepped forward and shouted, "Stop! I've called the police." Through the curtain of rain, the thugs turned to look at her. "Called the cops, huh? You got guts, little girl." One of them sneered, striding over and smacking her umbrella aside. He slapped her twice, then yanked her ponytail hard. The pain made Haley throw her head back, unable to speak. Freezing rain splashed straight onto her face. She struggled to keep her eyes open, but all she saw was a gloomy, murky gray, no light, no stars, no moon. Just like her life, where the ending had always been clear from the beginning. For a split second, Haley thought, if these guys beat me to death tonight, it's fine. I'm tired of living anyway. But this cruel world never lets her get what she wants. Haley gave up, letting them hit her without resisting. Her lack of reaction made the thugs lose interest. Because of her, "I've called the police" bluff, they cursed a few times and let her go. Before leaving, the blonde ringleader didn't forget to kick William a few more times. "You'd better watch yourself," he spat. Haley was naturally timid, never one to meddle in others' business. Helping William wasn't a moment of impulsive bravery. She did it because he had once helped her. Back in 10th grade, Haley and William were classmates, but they weren't close. From the start of the school year until now, they had only exchanged one sentence. Last month, Haley had a hypoglycemic episode and nearly fainted. Back then, William had handed her a candy. She thanked him. At the time, William was holding a basketball, about to leave the classroom. He merely glanced at her indifferently and walked off. Of course, that small gesture wasn't enough to make someone as timid as Haley risk her life to help William fend off a bunch of thugs. The most important reason was probably because William was lucky. In the past 16 years, this was the first time Haley wasn't afraid of dying. That moment just now when she stood up, it might have been the coolest moment of her life. Are you okay?" By now the rain had started to let up. Haley wiped her face, brushing away tears mixed with rain, and ran over to William. She gently nudged his arm. William was an outstanding student, always top of the class. Since middle school, he'd been a favorite among the teachers. And yet here he was getting into a street fight. Seriously injured, William curled into himself, gasping for breath. It took a long while before he finally lifted his head. His eyes locked onto Haley's as if her face was familiar, but he couldn't remember her name. "Who are you?" Haley softly mumbled her name in class. William's eyes flickered with recognition. "Haley, class 19. So we're in the same class." He glanced at her body, still trembling in fear, and gave a faint smile. "You were this scared, so why didn't you run just now?" Haley didn't answer. She simply bent down to help William up, then ran to pick up his backpack from the ground. Before he could say anything more, she turned and ran off. 5 minutes later she returned, carrying a bag of medicine from the nearby pharmacy. William was still leaning against the wall, gasping. He didn't seem to have the strength to stand. When he saw Haley return, for a brief moment he was stunned. He thought she had left for good. Haley stepped over a puddle, ran to his side, crouched down, and placed the bag of medicine on his leg. "Apply this on your wounds. It works really well." William leaned weakly against the wall, his whole body radiating exhaustion and stubbornness. "Thanks," Haley softly replied, and was just about to stand up when suddenly William grabbed her wrist. His dark eyes fixed on hers for a long moment. His voice was raspy. "Haley, help me with one more thing." Haley flinched, stammering. What is it?" William fumbled around and finally pulled a necklace with a pendant shaped like the national flag from around his neck. He shoved it into Haley's hand. "Keep this for me." William's tone was deadly serious. "When I come for it, give it back. Hide it well. If not, I'll die. My life's in your hands now, Haley." The frigid northern wind swept by, but the necklace in Haley's palm suddenly felt burning hot, carrying with it the warmth of that boy. At some point the rain had stopped. By the time Haley got home, it was already 10 p.m. Her wet hands clumsily searched for the keys under the dim, flickering hallway light. She inserted the key into the lock and pushed open the door. The lights inside were already on. The stench of alcohol hit her in the face, making her whole body freeze. Her limbs, still shivering from the cold, now trembled even more violently. The man in the living room heard the sound and got up, walking toward her. "You're just getting back now? The last bus was supposed to arrive at 7. It's 10 now. Where the hell were you?" That man was Mr. Mark, Haley's biological father. Mr. Mark was a degenerate, a gambling addict neck-deep in debt, a violent abuser who beat Haley's mother so badly she had no choice but to flee the house. A debt dodger who disappeared for half a month without returning. Whenever he was in a foul mood, he'd drag Haley out and beat her. Haley lowered her head and tried to rush into the house, but Mr. Park was already far too familiar with that move. He grabbed her ponytail and yanked her head back. "I'm talking to you. What, gone mute?" This was the second time that day Haley had been yanked by the hair. Maybe she really should cut it all off tomorrow. After cursing her, Mr. Park went straight to the point. "How much money did your mother give you? Where is it?" Disgusted by the overwhelming stench of alcohol on him, Haley tried to pull away and rubbed her head. "She didn't give me any money." "She didn't? Are you stupid? Why wouldn't you take it? You've got no money and you dare show your face back here? Why didn't you just drop dead on the street?" Mr. Park had been drinking heavily. The more he talked, the angrier he got. He grabbed Haley by the hair again and slammed her into the wall. "I'm counting on that money to survive. No money, I'm dead. You're trying to kill me on purpose, huh? Just like your damned mother. Useless trash." When he finally grew tired and Haley was soaked in blood, he let go. She collapsed to the floor only to be kicked several more times. "Tomorrow you go find your mother and bring the money back here. If you can't, then stay out on the street." After Mr. Park finished his drunken rampage and beating, he finally kicked the door open and stormed out. Haley had been hit so many times she was used to it. Calmly, She treated the wound on her forehead. She fetched the half-used ointment from the drawer in her bedroom and applied it to the bruises all over her body. When everything was done, she collapsed onto the bed, exhausted. The energy-saving ceiling light flickered dimly. Now bright, now dark. When would this hopeless life ever end? Would the future always remain this bleak? Before the age of 5 or 6, Haley had lived in the bustling, glamorous city center. Back then, Mr. Park and his friends had been making good money in business. The family of 3 lived in a high-rise with a comfortable life. But after the business failed, Mr. Park mortgaged everything. Debts piled up, and the crushing weight of financial pressure twisted him into someone completely different. Drunk every day, unrecognizable from before. When alcohol could no longer numb the sting of failure, Mr. Park turned violent, unleashing his rage on his wife and daughter. He trashed their rented apartment in a single night, and the landlord kicked the whole family out. Her mother was beaten so badly she miscarried. Haley didn't escape either. One kick to the chest left her bedridden for half a month. Her mother left. She had promised to take Haley with her, but Mr. Park stopped her. In the end, her mother had to give up. This place was City B, a small town straddling the border between the north and south. They moved here because Mr. Park heard that the area was about to be redeveloped. He hadn't cared about the old house before, but once he heard the rumors, he moved in. Life could have been stable, but Mr. Park wasn't content. Poor and miserable as he was, his gambling addiction still burned. He dreamed of winning it all back. The more he bet, the more he lost. Debts stacked on top of unpaid debts. Within half a year, creditors had smashed down their door twice. The 10 years Haley had spent living with Mr. Park were like one long, violent film. The only thing that helped her endure it was her mother's promise. The day her mother left, she had held Haley tightly and cried her heart out. "Sweetheart, wait for me. When I've settled down, I'll come back for you." Because of those words, Haley waited for 10 years. Only to be told today, "Don't come looking for me again. Your Uncle Duong doesn't like it. I have to take care of your little brother. I don't have time for you anymore. You're old enough now, take care of yourself." Why did she dare to save William? Because she had no hope left. No one ahead was waiting for her, and behind her was always a father trying to drag her into hell. "Haley, why are you even alive? What's the point?" In that 7th-floor apartment, Haley got up and walked toward the window. She thought that if she threw herself out, she'd probably die quickly. Her foot bumped into something. She looked down and stepped aside. A necklace came into view, the one William had given her. "Keep it safe. If not, I'll die. My life is in your hands." The warmth still clinging to the chain scorched her skin, jolting her slightly awake. People say saving a life is worth more than building 7 towers. Then maybe, just maybe, she would help William once, as a way to earn some merit. Perhaps in the next life, the heavens would have mercy and let her be reborn into a better family. Worn-out clothes? That's fine. Simple meals? Also fine. She didn't ask for riches, only for parents who loved her. 1 week later, the new school year began. Haley saw William again. Rumor had it he'd missed the first week because of a family funeral. She didn't have time to feel sorry. Mr. Park had returned. That day, as soon as she stepped into the house, she smelled the familiar stench of alcohol and cigarettes. A sense of dread came over her. Then from the bedroom to the left, a sharp scream rang out. Her face went pale. Mr. Park had brought another woman home. Haley quickly hurried toward her room, but halfway down the hall Mr. Park, his clothes rumpled, emerged from the bedroom. As soon as he saw her, he barked. "Did you go find your mother? How much did she give you? Hand it over." Haley was timid, but her pride ran deep. Her mother had made things perfectly clear. If she kept going to her, it would only be humiliating herself. When she said she hadn't gone, Mr. Park immediately flew into a rage and kicked her several times. She'd had enough. She wanted to run far, far away, never to return. But just as she opened the door, she froze. William was standing at the top of the stairs. Seeing her, he also froze. Their eyes met. Haley didn't know how to hide her miserable state. When Mr. Park came charging out, grabbed her by the hair and dragged her inside, she caught a glimpse of the shock on William's face. In that fleeting moment, it felt like an entire century passed. Then the door slammed shut. Mr. Park hurled her to the floor. Right after that, bang, 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 the sound of pounding on the door rang in her ears. Haley knew it was William, and for a moment, she felt a sliver of relief. Thank God the door was closed. Otherwise, her dignity would have been shattered into dust. But fate never let her rest. Even sleeping in pain wasn't allowed. What the hell's going on here? A woman in a tight red dress stepped out from Mr. Park's room. As soon as she saw the scene, father beating daughter, she froze horrified, too scared to intervene. The woman hurriedly slipped on her high heels and quickly left. William burst in at that very moment. By then, Haley was already curled up in a corner of the room, her thin body taking the full force of Mr. Park's brutal kicks. He kicked her while shouting, "Useless trash. I feed you, raise you, send you to school. This is how you repay me? Why didn't you go ask your mother for money? You want to see me die, is that it? Is this what your damn aunt taught you, how to be ungrateful? Fine. No more school for you. If you won't ask your mother, then go sell yourself. Your mom slept with that old rich guy and gave birth to a son who lives in luxury. You're no different, filthy, just like her." Smack! William hurled a small wooden chair straight into Mr. Park's back. While Mr. Park cried out in pain, William moved fast. He grabbed an empty bottle off the coffee table and smashed it against the tabletop. Crash! The glass shattered. Gripping the neck of the bottle, the jagged end pointed straight at Mr. Park. William's brows furrowed tightly, his voice dangerously cold. "I'm counting to 3. Get out." Mr. Park had been threatened like this before. Creditors had done it many times. The pinky on his right hand had once been shattered by a beer bottle, and still couldn't move properly. So yes, he was afraid of the bottle. But he was still an adult. He feared the glass, not this teenage boy. As an elder, he had to hold his ground. "Who the hell are you? This is my house. I'm her father. I'll discipline my daughter however I want. You got nothing to do with this. The one who should leave is you, punk." William tightened his grip on the bottle and took a step forward. 3. William's fierce and unshakable aura made Mr. Park instinctively take a step back. Not because he was completely afraid of the boy, but because his mind was already on the poker game that was about to start. He felt lucky today. He wanted to squeeze in a few rounds and win big to make up for past losses. If he didn't get there soon, there'd be no seats left. Mr. Park turned back into the room to get dressed. Before leaving, he spat one last insult at Haley. "Nice job, girl. Already know how to seduce a man. Just like your mother, cheap trash." Then he turned to William, his voice dripping with mockery. "You gonna sleep with her? You better pay. She's not even of age yet, you're getting a bargain. $500 a pop." Smash! William threw the broken bottle straight at Mr. Park's feet. Mr. Park panicked, jumped back, grabbed his pack of cigarettes from the coffee table, cursing as he ran off. Haley had once tried to escape Mr. Park. Once she'd been beaten black and blue and managed to crawl away, but the police found her and brought her back home, only for her to suffer an even worse beating, along with terrifying threats. Another time she secretly changed the lock. Mr. Park came back in the middle of the night and banged on the door until the entire neighborhood gathered, yelling and making a scene. After everything calmed down, she was rewarded with a few more slaps and a vicious round of kicks and punches. So she gave up. Luckily, Mr. Park wasn't home very often. Whenever he left, it was for 10 days, sometimes half a month. The longest time he'd been gone was 6 months. As long as no one saw how pathetic she was, Haley could endure. But this time William saw her. Her pride was shattered. All that was left was her broken, exhausted body. William looked at Haley curled up on the ground and tried to help her up. But Haley pulled away, unmoving, her voice weak. "Go away." William acted as if he hadn't heard. He bent down, picked her up, and placed her gently on the sofa. Haley instantly stiffened. Her head hung low, too ashamed to lift it. When William said he was going out to buy medicine for her, she pointed to her room. "No need. Second drawer in the nightstand." William followed her instructions and returned quickly with the ointment. He sat beside her and gestured for her to roll up her sleeve. "Looks like the medicine's almost gone. Does your dad hit you like this often?" Haley didn't answer. She snatched the ointment from him and began applying it herself. William didn't press her further. He already knew the answer. When she rolled up her sleeve, her arm was covered in injuries. Fresh bruises, old scars, even burn marks from cigarettes. Noticing William's gaze, Haley flinched and quickly pulled her sleeve back down, her face turning ghostly pale. More than anything, she hated others seeing these marks. They were the shame she desperately wanted to hide. William turned his back to her. "I'm not looking." Behind him, there was a soft rustling sound as Haley adjusted her clothes. Then William spoke again. "Last time I got beat up, you saw it. This time it's you and I saw it. Let's call it even. We'll keep each other's secrets, all right?" Haley mumbled a soft hum. Her back hurt so much she couldn't take off her clothes to apply ointment properly. She told William to go home first, then hurried into her room. But when she came back out, he was still there. Haley glanced at the wall clock. It was nearly 8 p.m. It was getting late. She gently reminded him. "You should head back now." William asked, "You got anything to eat?" "I haven't had dinner yet." "Will you make me a bowl of noodles?" Truth was, Haley hadn't eaten either. Earlier, she'd gone out intending to cook some instant noodles. Soon 2 bowls of vegetable noodles and a small plate of pickled radish were on the table. Haley felt a little embarrassed. The meal was so plain. But William picked up his chopsticks and smiled. "This is already great. I usually eat like this too." Haley quietly sighed in relief. Then she suddenly remembered something. "When are you going to take back your necklace?" William looked up, locking eyes with her. Then he asked, "That night, you wanted to die, didn't you? If I hadn't asked you to keep that necklace, you wouldn't still be alive now, right?" Haley didn't want to show her weakness. But William had already seen through her. And that made her want to speak. "My mom used to be really kind. Every year, she'd sneak back to visit me. She'd take me out to eat something good and secretly give me money. After the divorce, my mom moved to another province to work as a garment factory worker. Later, she married the factory owner, a divorced man who had a daughter of his own. My mom started living in a fancy villa, wearing designer clothes, looking beautiful and radiant. In the beginning, she treated me really well. But 6 years ago, everything changed, everything. It was when she gave birth to my baby brother. From that moment on, she stopped coming to see me. When summer came, I asked to visit her, but she never gave me the address. She just said she was too busy to take care of me. She told me to study hard, and that once my brother grew up, she'd bring me to live with her. This past Labor Day, my dad forced me to find her. He was drowning in debt. No one wanted to lend him money anymore, so he turned to my mom. He kept calling and bothering her until she stopped answering. Eventually, he found her address and forced me to go with him to ask her for money. But that wasn't my intention. I didn't want her money. I just missed her. I just wanted one hug. That's it. I missed her so much. The bowl of noodles was still steaming, but my eyes were already glazed over with a layer of sorrow. My mom didn't even let me explain. She said I was just like my father, nothing but a leech. She handed me 5,000 yuan and told me never to look for her again. She said to pretend she was never my mother. I didn't take the money. I returned it to her. She had always been the reason I held on, my only source of strength. But now that pillar had crumbled, I used to finish every drop of the noodle soup, like it was a comfort. That day, I couldn't even take another bite. He said, "Anna, honestly, I'm not much better off than you." That night, I listened to William's story. Turns out he's an orphan. When he was 5, his parents died in an accident. He lived with his grandma, surviving off meals from kind neighbors. She sold vegetables in the market and scraped together his tuition fees. For everything else, William had to manage on his own. After school, he collected recyclables, worked in food stalls, washed dishes, anything to get by. That incident in the school cafeteria, the guy who hit me was my uncle's son. My grandma was in poor health, but before she passed, she wanted to leave her old house to me. My uncle wouldn't allow it unless I gave it up willingly. Before she could write a will, they made her so angry she fell sick and died. Then they kicked me out and took the house. Now I have nowhere to go. At T16, William had lost everything. He told me, "That night you looked like you had completely given up, like you didn't want to live anymore. I saw it in you because I've been there too. But my grandma once asked me, 'Tu Truoc, don't you want to go see the world out there?'" Under the dim yellow light, he suddenly turned to me and asked, "Anna, have you ever been to City A to see the flag-raising ceremony?" City A, watching the flag rise. That was a faraway place. When I was little, when my family was still whole, Mr. Park once promised he'd take me to City A. But he was always busy. He broke that promise every time. I still haven't been there. "Me neither," he said. His eyes were clear. His face lit up with longing. My grandma had been there. She said when the anthem plays 3 times, the sunrise follows. She believed in that. That was her faith. And it became my dream to go to City A, to see that ceremony with my own eyes. As he looked at me, his eyes reflected a soft kind of hope. "Anna, if you don't have a dream, if you don't know why you should keep living, then borrow mine. Come with me. Let's get into a school in City A. I'll take you to see the flag rise." I was stunned. My chest felt warm, like something inside me was starting to stir. That night, a gentle light surrounded William, casting a golden glow around him. I had a dream in the rain, a dream about a road called life. It was bright, filled with dazzling light. And at the end of that road, there was no longer a mother turning her back on me. At the end of that road, it was William. He said, "Anna, I'll lend you my dream. Let's get into a school in City A. I'll take you to watch the flag rise." That day, William rented the apartment across from mine. He said he was looking for a place to stay. I hesitated, then told him, "I know a cheap place. It's right across from my house." William had every minute of his day scheduled tightly. Outside of school hours, he worked in the school cafeteria during lunch and in the evenings. On weekends and holidays, he helped out at an old neighbor's restaurant. Every night before bed, he spent 2 hours tutoring Anna. Now that Mr. Park was in prison, Anna no longer wished to ask her mother for money. She knew she would have to support herself soon. She couldn't sit around waiting for life to fix itself anymore. William gave his cafeteria and restaurant shifts to Anna, and in the meantime he found a part-time tutoring job teaching a 5th grader, thanks to a recommendation from his old middle school teacher. He also built a friendly relationship with their new landlord, and started helping out at the landlord's auto shop on weekends. Every morning they woke up at the same time. William would knock on Anna's door to go running, using the time to test her memory and help her practice speaking. After their jog, Anna made 2 bowls of noodles, cracked in 2 eggs, and added greens. At lunch, she made sure to get extra food, so that William could eat more. After class, William went to work at the repair shop. while Anna returned home after her cafeteria shift. At night, after showering, William came over to tutor her until 11 p.m. Then they both returned to their rooms to sleep. The busy days were full of energy and purpose. William knew exactly how much Anna could handle. She couldn't make drastic improvements right away. She had to rebuild her foundation slowly. Her grades didn't skyrocket, but she made noticeable progress each day. In 11th grade, the school divided students into science and humanities tracks. They both chose science, but William made it into the elite class, while Anna didn't score high enough. The two of them were separated. Anna had already come to terms with the distance between them, but instead of getting discouraged, she studied even harder. William consistently ranked at the top of the entire grade. After every exam, Anna would run to check the rankings. The school only published the top 100 names. At the end of 11th grade, in the final exam, Anna finally saw her name on the list. Even though William was at the top, and she was at the very bottom, just being printed on the same piece of paper as him brought tears to her eyes. She turned back and looked through the crowd. William waved at her with a bright smile and said, "Anna, you did amazing." At 17, William stood under the sunlight, glowing as if he were made of light. People often say adulthood is filled with lies and cruelty, but the malice in school days can be just as filthy and destructive. Rumors spread that Anna and William were in a relationship. People sneered that she was plain scrawny. How could someone like William ever like her? Was he blind or something? They whispered that her dad went to jail, and her mom ran off with some rich guy. Like mother, like daughter, they said. Knows how to seduce men. They claimed she went to William's house every day, and that's why her grades improved so fast. She must have slept with him for better scores. The gossip spread like wildfire, shattering Anna's peace like a bomb explosion. She had always been cautious, always hiding herself inside her shell. But William broke that shell and slowly pulled her out into the sun. Her world became nothing but studying alongside William. All she knew was to keep running forward, not realizing she was already being strangled from behind by a rope of malice tied by her classmates. Compared to Mr. Park's beatings, this suffocation was far worse. Anna had never been through anything like this before, so all she could do was run. When Willia returned from the physics Olympiad, he found out that Haley had skipped class. He eventually found her in the stairwell leading to the rooftop of the lecture hall. This was the same spot he had brought her to once, when she was exhausted from studying. Haley was curled up on the steps, hugging her knees, face buried between her arms. Willia crouched down in front of her and reached out to gently pat her head. "Haley, it's already 12th grade. Don't give up now. You just need to keep moving forward. I'll take care of the rest." Haley slowly lifted her head, eyes brimming with tears. Light shimmered in the glistening moisture of her gaze. Her frail body trembled slightly. She looked like a stray cat, abandoned and scared. She had always felt that Willia had some kind of strange magic. Whatever he said, she believed. After school, it started raining. Willia had just returned from the city and didn't have an umbrella. Haley, in a rush to run out of the classroom, had tripped and scraped her knee. So when school ended, Willia carried her on his back while she held the umbrella over them both. "Willia, am I really that plain? Am I that ugly?" "You're not ugly. I've grown this much and I've never seen anyone more beautiful than you." "Really? Really?" Willia softly called out. "Haley, that necklace, it's a charm my grandma gave me. I've worn it ever since my parents passed away. Maybe it brought me good luck. I want to give it to you." "That's not a good idea. Maybe I should give it back?" "I said I'm giving it to you. Just wear it." "Okay." "Haley." "Yes. When we finish college, can I chase after you?" Those malicious, dirty rumors came to an end during the senior year assembly. William was chosen as the student representative to give a speech to the entire grade. After his speech, William unexpectedly stepped off the stage with the microphone, his gaze locking directly onto Haley in the crowd. His voice echoed across the schoolyard. First, Haley and I are not in a relationship. Second, we're neighbors. Neither of us has parents around. It's not dirty or scandalous like you all think. Besides studying, we also have to work to support ourselves. We don't even have time to fall in love. Third, it's true I helped Haley with her studies, because she once saved my life. Because she deserves it. Fourth, Haley only cares about studying. The one who has feelings is me. And finally, for those of you who have worse grades than Haley, before you gossip about others, take a good look at your own performance. And for those of you who do have better grades, Haley is family to me. You think I don't have anyone backing me up? I'm still alive. If you've got the guts, come fight me. After William's speech, the entire school erupted into thunderous cheers. From that day on, Haley worked even harder. She didn't want to disappoint William, and she didn't want to disappoint herself. Time passed quietly. On the school's performance bulletin board, William's name was always at the top. And Haley, bit by bit, little by little, kept moving closer to him. By the second mock exam, Haley finally saw her name just below William's. But how many hardships must one go through for life to finally feel complete? Haley had done everything she could. She was so close to touching her dream. But the day before the college entrance exam, Mr. Park came back. It was Haley's birthday. Ever since her parents divorced, she'd never celebrated her birthday. After becoming neighbors, William always remembered her birthday. That afternoon, William had gone out to pick up a birthday cake. Haley, returning home from the market, opened the door and was hit with the thick stench of alcohol and cigarette smoke. She froze. By the time she realized what was happening and tried to flee, Mr. Park lunged at her, grabbing her tightly. Running from your father? Don't you miss me? It's been a while. In the midst of preparing for exams, Haley had completely forgotten. Mr. Park had just been released from prison last month. Inside the room, a middle-aged man with a scar on his face was sitting cross-legged on the sofa, smoking. His eyes were glued to Haley with a naked, greedy hunger that made her skin crawl, as if she'd already been stripped bare. Haley, this is Uncle Zhang. Mr. Park had returned this time to sell his daughter. After being released, he reunited with his gambling buddies. Tempted once again, he fell back into his addiction. His skills had faded and he got swindled hard, racking up a huge debt. To save his own neck, he remembered he still had a daughter at home, someone he could use to pay off the debt. The lustful creditor, upon seeing a photo of Haley, had readily agreed. The scar-faced man stubbed out his cigarette and stepped into Haley's room. Mr. Park dragged Haley in behind him. When she finally realized what was going on, she fought back with everything she had. Mr. Park, I'm your daughter. You can't do this to me. Dad, please. She begged. She resisted. But all she got in return was a thunderous slap. It's just one night. It's not like you'll lose a limb. Sleep with Uncle Zhang, and I don't have to pay the 20,000 yuan. I'm your father. Now's the time you repay me. Who would save her? Her hands were tied. Haley suddenly thought of her mom. Mom, why haven't you come for me? Why did you leave me to this monster? Why didn't you dare to face me? Mom, save me. No, her mom wasn't coming. She had already abandoned her. William. Her clothes were torn. She tried to think of William. William, help me. No. William couldn't come. He mustn't see her like this. Besides, William couldn't take on two grown men. She couldn't let him get hurt. Tomorrow was the college entrance exam. William had to go to City A. He'd worked so hard. She couldn't drag him down. William, don't come. Don't come no matter what. But it hurt. It hurt so much. What did despair feel like? What did it feel like when the blood in your body boiled over? What did it feel like to be alive but dead? Haley didn't understand why God couldn't give her just one way out. But William still came back. She had given him her house key earlier. He opened the door and walked in. At that moment, Mr. Park was eating the fruit she had bought. The middle-aged man had just stepped out of the bedroom. Noticing something was wrong, William rushed in. He saw Haley. Like a wilted rose, lifeless, her spirit gone. Something exploded in William's mind. He roared like a furious beast. His eyes filled with uncontrollable rage. But William was still young. Small. In the struggle, the scar-faced man kicked him hard into the corner of the coffee table. On the table was the fruit knife Mr. Park had just used. William didn't even know how many times he stabbed. All he could see was Haley's tattered body stripped bare, like she was already dead. They had ruined her. Mr. Park, the coward that he was, didn't stop the assault. He stood and watched. And when someone finally died, he panicked and ran for the door, only to slip and fall down the stairs in a panic. By the time William stepped out of the room, Mr. Park was already lying in a pool of blood. Haley came to her senses. William had dragged Mr. Park's body back inside, trying to stay calm. He pushed William out of the apartment. Go home. Don't come back tonight. Focus on your exam tomorrow. Those two, they were mine. I did it. I'll turn myself in. No one's allowed to ruin your life, William. William pulled her into his arms and gently kissed her forehead. He held her for a long time before letting go. Haley, we're still going to City A. No one can stop you now. No one will ever stop you again. Forget tonight. Do well tomorrow. They deserve to die. Once the exam's over, I'll clean up the rest. On the morning of the exam, William rode his bike, taking Haley to the test center. She hugged his waist and spoke a lot. She said she wanted to go to university with him, to watch the flag-raising ceremony together. She made him promise to do his best. They tested at different locations. Before parting, William hugged her and said, Haley, you have to do well. I already bought our tickets to City A. After the exam, we'll go see the flag together. Haley stood in place for a long time. When she could no longer see William's back, she wiped her tears and walked away from the exam center. I'm sorry, William. I can't drag you down. I'm sorry, William. I can't go to City A with you anymore. Last night, William cleaned up all the blood. This morning he had to take the exam. He didn't have time to deal with the bodies of Mr. Park and that man. They were still in the apartment. Last night, William had carried Haley home. She fell asleep on the way. Her life flashed by like a movie reel. Indeed, people born in the mud, no matter how hard they try, can't escape it. Passing by an internet cafe, Haley went in and learned how to erase evidence from a crime scene. She had to wipe William's traces completely before turning herself in. But maybe out of guilt, when she saw the police car in front of the building, she panicked. She ran back toward the apartment. Just as she reached the stairwell, someone was coming down. She looked up, their eyes met. Haley froze. On William's wrist, a pair of handcuffs. Her face turned pale. William also froze, but quickly his shock turned to rage. His eyes bloodshot, he shouted, "Who told you to come back? Go take the exam right now. Go back." Haley suddenly snapped. She rushed forward, desperately trying to pull off William's handcuffs. "You've got the wrong person. I did it. You arrested the wrong one." Two young officers held her back. Haley thrashed violently, tears falling non-stop. She screamed herself hoarse. "I took their lives. Why are you arresting William? He has to take the exam today. Let him go. It was me. I confess. I confess." People began gathering around to watch. Haley pulled up her sleeves, exposing the scars and cigarette burns. "Mr. Park is my father. For years he abused me. He owed money and tried to sell me to a man to pay his debt. I hated him, so I killed him. She unbuttoned her shirt, revealing the bruises. That man Zhang, he raped me. I hated him. I killed him. I had a motive. William was just a classmate. He had nothing to do with Mr. Park. He didn't even know that bastard Zhang. He had no reason to hurt them. You really arrested the wrong person. I'm the one who did it. Haley exposed every wound, every shame just to convince them. To protect William. Silence blanketed the area. So quiet it felt suffocating. William stepped forward. He gently pulled her shirt back up. One by one he buttoned it for her. His pale fingertips brushed her hopeless face. His voice low, only for the two of them. Haley. Why didn't you listen? I told you to take the exam. Why didn't you listen? I turned myself in, Haley. His fingers slipped to her neck. He grasped the necklace, the one with the flag pendant, and gently caressed it. I'm giving you back the dream. Help me complete it. Okay? You didn't do well on one subject. Just retake it. Under the pillow there's a bank card. That was our tuition fund. Take it. Keep studying. Work hard, Haley. Wait for me in City A. Make lots of money. One day, take me to see the flag-raising ceremony. That day, Haley missed her morning exam, and she never took it again. The verdict was finalized. William was convicted of intentional harm, sentenced to 15 years. Haley chose to repeat the year. The events of that year somehow got out. Rumors spread. She was shunned even more. But this time no one protected her. Still, Haley said nothing. She buried her head in her books. The following year, she scored top of the entire province and successfully entered City A. Every year she visited William, but he never saw her. He only left the same message through the guards. 15 years is too long, Haley. You're free. Haley buried herself in work. She earned a double master's in law and business management, became a legal assistant at a law firm. Later, as a full attorney, she rarely lost. By age 30, she had handled over 100 cases, both litigation and non-litigation. She helped 2 companies go public. At 31, she opened her own law office with friends. She gained financial freedom, bought a house, a car, invested in multiple projects. At 32, many successful men courted her. When her friends asked who she'd choose, she simply lifted her ring finger. A wedding band gleamed. A silent message. I'm already married. Please don't bother. Years after the divorce, her mother came back in tears, complaining about how her new husband had betrayed her, and how her son had turned out wild and uncontrollable. Anna said nothing. She simply listened, handed over some money, and showed her to the door. At 33, Anna stood beneath the scorching sun, waiting all day outside the detention center. As sunset painted the sky in hues of gold and warmth, the gates finally opened after 15 long years. The man walking out no longer had the soft, boyish face she remembered. William now had the rugged look of someone who had endured a lifetime. His skin was tanned, his hair cropped close, and his frame more hardened. But the moment he saw Anna, his eyes lit up. Time had worn down Anna's emotions over the years. She had become calm, distant, almost expressionless. Yet in that very moment her eyes brimmed with tears, and her smile bloomed like a radiant rose. Before William could even approach, she ran into his arms, holding him tight, her arms locked around his neck. She kissed him through the tears. Tears that tasted of salt and longing. William, she whispered, I've been waiting for you for so long. At 33, William was nothing like the insecure, hesitant boy he had been at 16. So much like Anna herself at that age. When he said he wanted to return to his hometown, she knew he was trying to distance himself. He no longer felt worthy of her. But Anna looked him in the eye and asked, Is it because you think I'm no longer clean? That you're ashamed of me. William shook his head instantly and wrapped her tightly in his arms, voice trembling. I have nothing left, Anna. If you come with me now, will you really have no regrets? She hugged him like she was holding on to the emptiness inside her for the past 15 years. William, have you forgotten? My dream was borrowed from you. Everything I've achieved today came from your dream. So whatever's mine is yours too. It's not too late, William. You're only 33. You can still apply to university for adults, go back to school, and graduate before 40. Or don't study at all. Do whatever you want. I have money. You once led me forward. Now it's my turn to lead you. Let's just keep going like this, okay? I'll take care of you first. Then we'll have a child. Later, you can take care of me and the baby. When they were 16, they promised to visit City A to watch the national flag-raising ceremony. That promise wasn't fulfilled until William received his acceptance letter to university at 34. Standing in the square, he held Anna's hand, her belly round with their child. The young soldiers marched with perfect precision, raising the brilliant red flag under the first light of dawn. The anthem echoed across the plaza, solemn and soul-stirring. William gripped Anna's hand tighter. She turned to look at the man beside her, standing tall and proud like a pine tree under the sun, his expression reverent and full of purpose. She couldn't hold back the tears. She had read William's old journal. His grandmother had loved soldiers, and he loved his grandmother more than anything. Anna had always known his dream was to become a soldier, to serve his country, to stand beneath that flag. But she had taken that dream away from him. I'm sorry, William, she whispered. I'm so sorry. As the crowd slowly dispersed after the ceremony, Anna's guilt became too much to bear. Under the warm sunlight, William gently lifted her face and wiped her tears with trembling fingers. His eyes were full of love. At 16, his dream had been the military. At 18, his dream had become Anna and the military. Now, even if he had let go of one, he still had Anna. That was enough. Though he had regrets, she could still help make things right. At their wedding, a friend asked Anna, "Why were you willing to wait for William all those years?" Anna smiled and replied, "He gambled his whole life to love me. I'd die for him. I could wait a lifetime. 15 years is nothing." Dear listeners, today's emotional love story comes to a close. If it touched your heart, please don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel to support our team in bringing more tender, unforgettable stories to life. Wishing you endless joy, gentle days, and a heart always filled with love. Until we meet again in the next story, take care and stay inspired.